G'day, Sam Barry, Tom Barry,
Ernie
Rosen, in our Wolta Vineyard in the Clare Valley, reminiscing about the last 30 years of you and Dad, the last sort of 15 years of us, and then the last 10 years of this Wolta project.
Yeah,
that's just gone so fast.
All started, more than 30 years ago when I met your dad the first time in London, on the London Wine Trade Fair, and there was always this fantastic party which the big companies like Penfolds and so, they throw this party and everybody had been going there. That was the thing to go,
Back in the heyday.
Oh, that was in the early 90s. And your dad, always smuggled me into the party, But it was a great party. Oh my God, that was so fantastic. Yeah, and then we met the first time, and then I came over with the Down Under, the Riesling Down Under convention, which is every 3 years, was every 3 years. And so now, and then it's finally, we had been met 2015, we met at, was also Down Under
after
again.
Riesling Down Under.
After Riesling Down Under in the Prince Wine Store. And then we had been the first time discussing, hey, we can do something together. And so, and I recommended, let's do a wine together. And I introduced this historic winemaking I do at home, as my great-grandfather does. He did everything, 2 years, 3 years in the barrel on the full yeast, no batonnage, and then bottling it, natural yeast, no fining, no filtration, and so on. Yeah, and we have been immediately,
let's do it.
Handshake and let's do it.
Let's do it.
And so we've been sending then 15 already, some barrels. Barrels,
big barrel.
A big German barrel, 3,000 liter barrel.
Well, it wasn't 3,000 litres.
Oh,
you said it was 3,000. You said it was 3,000 litres, and
my winemaker has been cheating. He wanted to get rid of the 2,800 liters, because they never fit the 3,000 liter 2,000 when you're wrecking,
Yeah, I didn't know this too.
Yeah.
We wondered why it started overflowing when we were filling it up.
You're right, that was the 2,800 liter, But it was already seasoned, It was seasoned, that's important,
Yes.
It was not a new barrel, it was already seasoned, 10 years old.
Yeah.
No oak influence anymore. Yeah, and so the whole thing started, And then 2016, the barrels came,
Yeah, that was the first
you
Wolta.
unloaded it,
Yeah.
And 16 was then the first vintage.
And we're just about to pick the 10th vintage of the 2025, the 10th vintage of the collaboration, which has gone pretty quickly. But we'd tasted a few of these wines before, because Tom worked there. Obviously, Tom worked with you in 2010.
Yeah, 10.
So we're sort of familiar with that lees aging. We'd sort of been starting to talk about it
what
as well.
we can do, I was lucky enough to work with Ernie in 2010, with Dad's relationship, and just to walk into Ernie's cellar and see all these old barrels, it was amazing. And then that's really what got us thinking about lees aging and extended time.
It is the old, what we do at home, this old winemaking, which my great-grandfather made only dry wines. From my father's side, the family made only dry wines, and the standard winemaking with him, which I also discovered just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, again, before we didn't do dry wines so much, and that was really an amazing experience, to see these wines, how they differently develop if you keep it, instead keeping it in stainless steel, and my great-grandfather kept it all the way, wines up to 8 years in the barrel on the full yeast, which we still do too, and it's an amazing experience, learning by doing, And so, and I thought that might be a great idea, to introduce something like this here to the new world, and see what is the result, Do we have a similar result as we have in the old world, And I think it's quite similar, It's amazing when I taste, Wolta at home, and put it blind into the what we call GG Reserve, same winemaking, It's amazing, and it's really it takes, it makes the wines more complex and rounder,
With the texture and even the flavour profile we see from the barrel is so much different. And the aromas that are created, in stainless steel, the barrel's got stone fruit, I'm much riper.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm amazed about the complexity the wines get, So,
and they're living and they're aging beautifully. The 2016, they're still fresh as a daisy.
This winemaking gives amazing aging potential to the wine. The oldest I tasted was 47,
Yeah, amazing.
And that's still good, and that is the crazy thing, So that in these days, I wonder myself, fuck, what did this old man did?
Yeah.
I mean, my great-grandfather, to make dry wines, which can get 50 years old, you know?
Yeah, well.
And so I think this is something, the winemaking makes it to this ageability. And we see it here too. And it doesn't matter if it is old world or new world, it seems to be, you know, that this thing is something, it's a tool. I find it also a tool against, you know, this kind of global warming, you know, thing. You have a tool here to fight also global warming, to make wines which can age again, you know, because a lot of wines with the global warming, you know, they age fast, you know. But this, it seems that this winemaking makes them more, you know, more to age, you know. Yeah, it's.
I suppose that's the lovely thing about Riesling, isn't it? You know, the aging potential of the variety, and maybe traditionally a lot of the sweet wines Ernie were the ones that would age.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we
dry,
know
maybe
the sweet wines age, you know, but it was always the dry wines, you know, which had been fading away after a certain time, you know. But this thing, they're so stable, you know, and very slowly, and even develop still with aging. Develop, get better with aging, you know. It's an amazing thing, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, we are here close to the harvest, huh? As far as I see.
Probably got another week. Yeah. You know, another week of hang time just to build that extra flavour. You know, the canopy looks good.
And what you told me so far, I think it looks perfect from my opinion. You know, it's still okay. It can need some more hang time, but from the sugar ripeness and the acidity, it's perfect to give it more time. You know, and we all know every day of more hang time gives more flavors. You know, and so. Flavor, you know, the aroma ripeness, you know, comes from hang time, you know, and that's it, you know, and it doesn't seem that it is getting overripe here, you know, and still keeps the acidity, and that's all about, you know. I always say, you know, what's the backbone of the Riesling? Acidity, acidity, acidity.
That's right. And that's probably the thing this year. Like, it's been a warmer vintage, but the acidity is fantastic. And the canopy as well. Like, you can probably see over here all the straw that we're doing to keep the moisture in the soil, keep the weeds down. And, you know, that's had a big effect on what we're, the freshness of the canopy.
It looks great, you know.
Yeah, and you can see
there's nothing.
Still some a bit of moisture. Good for, I think good for the worms. They like the cool temperatures.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're probably maybe a week away, Ernie. You'll be gone and
you'll be in
on
the other side of the world by then.
And I'm in Asia, somewhere in Asia.
No, but we'll come through. We'll handpick it all. Anything
next week,
anything with a bit of sunburn, we'll remove. Because you want that freshness of acidity.
I see it. It looks. For me, it looks great, you know, and so next week you can start to monitoring, you know, in it, and I'm sure you still have time to hang it more, to get it to the where we want to be. To the ripeness, to the sugar ripeness, the acidity ripeness, you know, flavor, and the flavor ripeness, because it has still time to go, you know. And so
that's
that
the
is
beauty
perfect.
About this Wolta vineyard. It's always the last we pick. It always has the most aroma, flavor, ripeness, and that's where we can. Push out of the citrus into stone fruit and peach and
great. At higher elevation, you can hang it longer. That's all about it, you know. You know, so that means it gives you the chance, you know, to monitor it and wait and until you are where you want to be. You know, that's great. That looks perfect, you know.
Yeah, vintage 2025.
10 years.
Should be good one. 10 years.
10th vintage, you
exactly.
know.
And it's almost 10. I looked before. It's 10 years. Within a few days since that conversation.
Really? I mean,
and the Prince wine store, 10 years exactly.
Exactly, you know.
You haven't aged a day.
Yeah, well, it's you know,
the acidity.
It's the acidity of Riesling which mummifies you, you know. Look all to the old donkeys in the Mosel, you know. They all get 90 and more and still look fresh. That's all pickled gherkins.
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
Good on you.
Let's see. Looking forward for a great vintage. I'm pretty much sure that looks all good.
I think it'll be fine.
Great.
The pickled gherkins. What was that? A third of.
A third of. What is it?
Pastis? Is it Pernod?
Pastis, Pernod, and 2/3 of cognac. Oh, we call it always Grandma's Pernod.
So a third of
Pernod, and then usually 2/3 of water, but she took 2/3 of cognac.
In the afternoon.
Well, no, in the evening.
In the evening.
Her Aperol. And two water glasses of that. And then she drank a whole bottle of a nice, what she said, oh, bring me a nice bottle of Mose Kabinetchen, a cabinet, with eight alcohol,
Yeah.
And so I need a bottle to drink myself sober.
I love it.